Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, welcome. This is Warriors of Light Astro Tarot. I'm David. Doing a little different reading with the heart spread this week. We're doing the higher self read. It's a spiritual read. We're kind of trying to get a bead on spiritual alignment here. It's really relating to this full moon in Scorpio and the nodes here in Taurus and Scorpio. It's at 25 degrees Scorpio, of course 25 Taurus. So and whether or not that's relevant for you astrologically, we're all picking up on this nodal energy. So when you go through this reading, if you listen to it, if it resonates and you listen to it, keep thinking back to 2004 and really in terms of where you were internally. And we also have the retrograde going. There's some references to the retrograde here, I think. So for one, you've got the Gemini card, the Lovers, on the bottom of the deck. That's the biggest reference to the retrograde. I think that's more about that than any kind of choice. It's not a love reading. So then, we're looking at over this last 18 years since 2004. How have you changed in your relationship to yourself and your own mind, how you are? So we're using the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot here, if you give a darn. So this is a interesting read, and I read the heart spread differently, so maybe just want to talk about it. For you guys, you do have Pluto and anywhere from 28, 26 degrees where this retrograde is. It's just in now. If that's opposing you, that's really playing into the mix, and I can't even begin to touch that in 10 minutes. So consider an astrological consultation. Honestly, if you have that sun that's at a late degree of Cancer, then it's opposing my moon, and it's massive for me. That energy of Pluto, as it relates to your Cancer energy, that's once in a life. In fact, it's not even once in a life, because you could live your entire life, and Pluto, depending on where it is in your chart, is never going to oppose your sun, or conjunct your sun. It takes 250 years, and our lifespan's maybe 100 if we're lucky, right? So this is why Pluto, I think, in evolutionary astrology is considered the soul, and one of the reasons. And it only moves so far, and it moves very slowly. So any changes it makes, any connections it makes by aspect, and changes it makes to signs and cusps of the houses, and God help us, the angles, for sure, that's karmic energy, that's soul energy. And you can really, I think, get a long way just by looking at your Pluto energy as it's moving, transiting in your chart there. So I think this is you're in a position where you're really taking a chance. This is like your energy around spirituality. And with the Five of Swords, this is kind of showing how that's relating to your higher mind. So what I get here, you're very uncertain. You're not in the Fool energy, Cancer, where you're like, yeah, I'm going to jump. I don't give a fuck. I know I'm just going to do it. You're like, should I jump? I want to jump, but I don't know if this is really the best thing to do. And usually, a lot of this I like to think of as being internal, but if you're discussing this with anyone, you could be getting advice like, I don't know, girlfriend, I don't know, dude. That's kind of crazy, what you're talking about here. So if that resonates somehow. And we have to think about this retrograde too, and this kind of thing. If you're in this energy, well, before the retrograde started, say a few weeks ago when it went into the shadow, then you just kind of keep getting up and take it in under advice that this is going to be a time. Remember, we had the Lovers indicating Gemini, when your thoughts are going to be really focused on this. So if you're just, this energy just came up very recently within, say, the last 2 weeks, where you're deciding like you really want to take a chance on something kind of spiritually, and this could be manifested as something physically, but it's affecting your spiritual path, and I'd say, or your spiritual relationship with yourself, that relationship in our own mind with our higher self that's so important. Then that's kind of you're kind of locking in to this. I hate to say it, all the way through till the third week almost of June, when the retrograde clears shadow and moves on here. But this is, you're doing the work during that whole time is what this is. So with the Queen of Wands and the Two of Wands, this is again why I'm saying um, you're really, I think you're really feeling more and more probably like you want to do this. Whatever's you're contemplating on doing, you really want to do it. But you're not being foolish about it. You know, you're really considering it. And with this Two of Wands, it's in this ethereal visions illuminated tarot. You know, look how he is. He's up on the torrent. You know, usually a Two of Wands got his little backpack on. He's already halfway down the trail, getting going there. And this dude here, he's still checking out the terrain down there. Just so you're really like thinking about it. And these are action cards. I mean, you can speak to Leo too, but action. And even though those are action cards, it's you're in this moment where you're still kind of thinking about it, you know. And I got to think, like, if you haven't made this leap yet, this retrograde's kind of caught you, and it's like in those movies where they freeze and everybody just freezes, and maybe you're going to kind of be frozen throughout the retrograde. So just remember, with retrogrades, and that very much could be what this is speaking of, because this is advice. Page of Swords, this could be a retrograde energy. This is the time where you're supposed to really think about this. So I kind of get it like this. Maybe what's happening, if you want to look at the big picture, you've been trying to figure out whether you want to make this leap, and so Spirit's kind of frozen it somehow, specifically so that you can spend some time really thinking about what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and that kind of thing. And so you can kind of like cook in this energy or marinate in it in a way. And then so you've got the Page of Swords and the Nine of Swords. These two, you read them together, which does equal the Ten of Swords. So I'm going to say this, you know, I think what's going to happen is during this next 4 or 5 weeks here, 4 weeks anyway, you're going to come to some kind of conclusion, you know, and you'll at that point make this leap. I think, you know, you're going to do it. You know, the Fool is very strong, and plus you've got this Queen of Wands, you know, so you're going to do it. You got it. And I'm going to tell you the main reason why you're going to do it, at least based on this reading, the outcome is the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands is the Nike card, the slogan, just do it. And then that's very much like an action here. And coming over the Nine of Wands, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna take it out of you. I believe it's gonna take it out of you. So consider that, guys. I can't lie to you. And so it's going back to these actions. You're wanting to take this action. And again, to me, it's that feeling like of stewing in your own juices, but for a good reason, you know, so that by the time this is all over, and this Ace of Wands too could be, it could be energy coming to you like big time, like suddenly, maybe 4 weeks from now ish, you know, boom, just, you know, where you've kind of been frozen and in this kind of stasis that I'm describing as like cooking off, and you know, all of a sudden that everyone was frozen, and then you know how it is in the movies, boom, they start all walking again like nothing happened, and that's you. But also I got the feeling too with this Ace of Wands, it could be something coming in. You got the same kind of thing with the Page of Swords and the Nine of Swords equaling Ten of Swords. You got the Nine of Wands and the Ace of Wands equaling the Ten of Wands. So I get the feeling something's going to be resolved, but it's like going to be really resolved. Like right now, you probably think, I don't know if this is ever going to be resolved. Five of Swords. But when this goes down, it's going to be like all in the rearview mirror, and you're going to be cooking with gas, man.